That's how it goes. That's just how it fucking goes. You end up.
You are correct, sir.
People. Mad ethnic right now.
I get it how I live it. I live it how I get it. Come the motherfucking digits. I pull it with a lemon. Not cause she ain't living. It's just your eyes get acidic. And this ain't a scrimmage. Motherfucker, we ain't finished. I told you we won't stop. A nigga by the business. Like yours, but you rent it. Way the low to the top. Nigga, the bay wrong glide. Tell the paparazzi get the lens right. Got the window down, top blown live. Got the hazard on the doom fire. You could catch me, breathe, in the new La Ferrari. And the truck behind me got arms. Yeah, longer than LeBron. Just waiting from my thumb like the fawns. Woo, this beat tastes like lunch, but it's running from veneers and it's running from the fronts. But every day, hey, well, lemonade, I was afraid. Once a nigga graduate, would I be okay? So I prayed and I played. It's Rihanna, nigga. My constellation is space. Warp speed, double spark couldn't chase. Nigga,
Bath salt, biting speakers in the face. Bath salt, biting speakers.
Welcome to Atlas Balked, a weekly chronicle concerning the mundane, weird, and maybe even sometimes dramatic happenings of a simple fantasy baseball league. This podcast captures the thoughts and musings of Greg, Joe, Jack, and Tim, 4 of the 10 owners in the league. This is episode 29, entitled Tim Hates This Episode. All right, Balkers, welcome to episode 29. Let's say hello to the Ghost King, GK. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Wonderful. Good to see you. Good to see you. Flying the blue and white. That's awesome. And we've got the World Championship fan, Jack Swagger. Congratulations on the Eagles. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Fly, Eagles, fly. We're doing well.
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Hey, they won that game fair and square. Congratulations. Low Key, how you doing?
I am just peachy. How about yourself?
I'm peachy as well, I think. Does that mean what, we're warm and juicy? What is that? What does peachy mean?
It's the shape of my head.
It's kind of peach colored too, actually. Now you mentioned it.
You guys need a minute?
This is going to be a fun night. Welcome, everybody, to our Prospects Special. Swagger has done some work. He sharpened his pencil. We've got farm rankings. As you all remember, we have 10 spots on our farm teams in our Dynasty League. And this is something that, from a strategy perspective, comes into play in a number of different ways. And one way is that, you build up a farm system that bears fruit this year, next year, and the year after. You can create sustained runs. Swagger, I'd like to hand the microphone over to you and just open it up. I guess you did gradings of the systems. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. I went through each of our minor league systems.
That's beautiful. I think it's always good when you take a look at it. We figure you probably should start with the lowest grade first.
All right. So that in mind, first team up, I think we talked about last week how they were the highest projected in the majors, not so much in the minors. 47 Ronin would be the only F that I graded.
Not a lot to talk about there. I think I actually have only one player that actually has not played a major league game in my minor system, and I only have 5 players in that minor system.
It's a pretty big departure for you, Tim, though. I mean, and
and
you've used your minor leagues. You're not a person who doesn't see the value in those prospects. You've just seemingly decided that this is your window. You're pushing all your chips onto the table, and you've used your great prospects to bring back even greater major league talent.
So you got Tom Murphy, who still technically would be considered a prospect, catching in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Fisher is, again.
Hey, Swag, we could just. It sucks. We don't even have to go through like.
I did find the Mateus guy in one of the lists somewhere. It was a little weak down. Moving on.
Thank you. This is it's a little painful. It's not worth it. It's an F.
Sorry.
I agree. It's an F. I think everyone looks at that and throws up a little in their mouth.
Oh, please.
All that means is that you have room for 5 more guys when we go through the player draft.
There aren't guys left. I mean. I'm going to start scouting Little League games. I'm going to do the Chris method and go to the Pop Warner games. Anyway, next.
it is a little different. The two that we're going to talk about first did surprise me a little bit because it wasn't too long ago that I felt like these two teams had the most prospects. Now, again, some of the reason that they no longer have prospects is because the guys that were prospects at the time are now fucking studs in the major league. So, again, as they move up, Alex Bregman was a prospect. He's no longer a prospect. And because of that, omission is our next team. Gave them a D-. Their top prospect is Anthony Alford.
He's a light hitting center fielder from Toronto, right? He's got some wheels, but he's a spray hitter. He
fell into the top 30s of hitters. Again, this is without pitchers, so there's 30 some guys better than him.
Right.
And he is his top prospect. He's got Chance Sisco. He does break the top 50, and at that position, of course, that's valuable. And then he's got a couple other guys. Again, as I mentioned, he not qualifying as prospects and hurting his grade. Bregman, Devers, Greg Bird, and Mazzara are both very young still as well. So like I said, he's got some young guys that are already up there and working for him, but not a whole lot left in the trunk there. Next up, we have, again, another team that was pretty loaded, but again, a few of the guys have moved up. The Dreamers.
Ooh.
The Dreamers have Ohtani. In this league, Ohtani does not have much value, in my opinion.
Right.
That'll be interesting.
He's ranked number 1 in many of the lists as a pitcher, but he's got the slash. In our league, the way we play it, it's not there.
It would be his bat. Since we do the pitching staffs, unless he has the Angels staff, and even then, it's just kind of what the Angels do. So that's an interesting thing. It was an interesting pick when he picked Ohtani. I think he picked Ohtani. I thought they picked him up in the draft last year.
No, he picked him up off the waiver wire.
He did pick him off the wire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, they picked him off of the waiver wire. Now I'm sure because Eldon and I had a conversation about it because when he picked him up off the waiver wire, we happened to chat a couple maybe that day or shortly thereafter, and I was like, you know what? I was looking at that guy. He seems so interesting, and he was like, you know what? We just thought we'd take a flyer on him.
Okay.
It's funny, again, just the way we play, and as you mentioned, we do pitching staff, so that, first of all, unless he drafts the Angels staff, somebody else is going to get the benefit of Ohtani in that aspect. It's a different player. The Angels staff is a different player from Ohtani. In our league, his best case scenario is the guy doesn't do well pitching. He sucks pitching, and they decide to just fucking make him a batter that he has value. They got Kyle Tucker, so that guy's pretty strong. That's 1, 2, 3. Next up is Bad Street.
Interesting.
Bad Street received a C-. They have 2 guys in the top 40, Miguel Andujar and Kyle Lewis. They do have Ryan Mountcastle from Baltimore, so he's got a little value. He's got Frazier, who just, has moved out of the prospect list. Again, guy's got, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in his minors. That's another thing is some of, the Dreamers only have 5 players in their minors. So there is a little bit of meat out on the bones this year. Ronan has 3, but there's going to be a lot of people picking. Next up, this was an interesting one. This was a tough one to judge. I ended up giving him just a flat C because that was the easiest thing for me to do. He has some guys that you've heard their name, but they aren't on the lists. And then he has the number 1 fucking prospect in the world, Lethal Injection.
Ooh.
Somehow that guy, again, the finder of pool holes, has ended up with Ronald Acuna. And I couldn't find that guy number 2 on any list as far as batters go. Number 1 across the board, no question about it.
Yeah,
he's the guy to have. So he does have Austin Riley as well, another Brave, top 30 guy, and then Alex Jackson, another Brave, Lourdes Gurriel. He's got a few guys, like I said, that you've heard their names, but for whatever reason, they're not in the top 100 at the moment. So he's got 1 guy and then a bunch of perhaps, but that one guy's a fucking stud. What's your thought on Acuna?
Well, everything that I've read on Acuna, everything that, the video that I've seen, I'm with you. I've not seen anybody rank him below number 1. This guy, from a prospect perspective, is in the, from a prospect perspective, the Ken Griffey Jr. level. He's just so...
Yeah.
That he's got power, he's got speed, he can play defense, he is, the entire bag of chips. If you have Ronald Acuna and nobody else, you still have a better farm system than the other teams you talked about. So I completely agree.
I weigh prospects. I also consider what organizations they play for.
Right.
You see organizations that you think know how to handle prospects and their rating of them is going to is going to bode well. And so the Braves, you know, I think of Andrew Jones, Chipper Jones, and young guys coming up and playing well. To me, as a prospect, that bodes well for him that he's in the Braves system. He seems more legit based on that system. But no, all seriously though, you know, I look at organizations and think, well, they're going to fuck that up with that prospect, or they're going to rush him, or they're going to delay him. They're going to make him sit on the bench in the majors. But some organizations just seem to get it right.
All right, so moving on, the top 5. Actually, this team moved up 2 spots today from a C- to a C+.
Oh, boy.
Now housing 3 of the top 40 prospect hitters. Reardon Metal. The trade today, they picked up Jesus Sanchez, who was a top 40 guy.
Yes.
Picked up old Lazarito as well. So the
Cuban Bryce Harper, baby.
Passed around. That's to go along with Juan Soto, guys, top 25.
Oh.
And then, of course, another guy that's been mistreated, Franklin Barreto, top 30.
Right, Greg, I think Greg calls him burrito. Don't you call him burrito, Greg?
I've heard several of us say burrito or burrito.
Well, he's been eaten up and spit out by just about every team in our league.
I know fantasy is we're a derivative of reality, right? But Lazarito has been traded. He's on 3 different teams, and Burrito has been on 5 different teams already. How do we value these prospects? I can't figure this market out.
Well, there are some players who just get, bumped around from team to team, right? It started with Charles Johnson, right? But I mean, good players that just, Cespedes, he's had some good years, but people don't seem to want him on their team, or they don't value him.
Yeah, but that's always been the case. It's just these like I said, I think we've just gotten deep enough and spoiled enough on the Bellingers of the world that we've just started disrespecting these kids too quickly. And I think it's been a swing. And like I said, it's just the last couple of years. So I don't think we've seen the full effect of it. I think it's going to be over these next couple of years as these guys that were just fucking tossing around like fucking rag dolls become studs that we're going to be like, God damn.
Yeah, they turn 24, 25, 26, and they start really playing.
Exactly. Yep.
It's interesting, though, when I'm looking at what's happening right now in Major League Baseball in this stupid contract that the union agreed to, and the way Major League Baseball is actually valuing the younger players and devaluing the older players. I hate to say it, but I actually think that the Juiceless Baseball League was ahead of the curve on this. I mean, screw Steve Phillips and his freaking thievery. The reality is that we were valuing prospects differently, I think, even before Major League. The Major Leagues were, on a surface level. Congratulations, Joe. That's good. Good trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does have Cody Bellinger.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. I just skipped over Bellinger, Hoskins, Happ.
Fucking Mookie Betts is only 24.
Albaeus. Yeah, he's got a lot of fucking 23, 24-year-olds.
Machado, Correa.
So, again, C+, but with an asterisk, just because these, you drop a few of those guys back into this list, and he's dominating.
Golly.
So the next 4 were a little tougher. These 2 kind of close. And again, now we're not only getting into guys that have a little bit more as far as numbers go, but also substance as far as talent goes. So number 4, St. Locash. He's been talking about these guys for quite some time. It seems like they're getting closer and closer. So gave him a B-. He's got 10 players that qualify as prospects on top of Moncada and Alfaro. Royce Lewis is his top guy. He's a pretty much top 15 batter, shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
Got Austin Meadows, who has been regressing, I guess, a little. He's been higher on this list in the past.
He's going to be a bust.
Jake Bowers, Michael Chavis, as much as Tim doesn't want to admit, top 40. And then he's got a couple other guys that, poke on a list here, but not here. Pavin Smith, that first baseman we talked about.
Oh, my God. I think we have some great inflation going on here, just so everybody's Pavin Smith and Chavis.
Pavin Smith is numbered the 43rd highest batter, according to Major League Baseball's top 100 prospects. Chavis is 36.
Top batter?
Of batters, yes. There's 42 batters that are prospects that are better than Pavin Smith, according to MLB. The other list didn't even have him.
I've been hearing your rankings, Jack, and I think they're good. are they ranking actual real life baseball considerations or fantasy?
It is real life baseball.
Yeah, those spray hitters who have high on base percentages, they're gonna some real team's gonna appreciate having them, but then maybe
More
not
so.
on the fantasy.
Correct. There's some guys on here, correct, that are better baseball players. I try to take that into consideration, as far as my list goes. But yes, that's the case. So,
Okay.
So again, yeah, the guys that are in the top 100 would be Lewis, Meadows, Bowers, Chavis, and Nick Gordon. And Chavis is in the top 100 on every fucking list. Sorry.
I don't see him in the top 100 on Baseball Prospectus. I could be wrong. I'm just kind of scanning through it right now.
I don't have Prospectus. Is not one of the ones I use. So there you go.
Is their comprehensive list come out?
It is out. It is out now.
And I don't know, like I said, I don't know the true numbers because I did them as a best. So for instance, Baseball America has Chavis at 46. So that probably puts him in the 70s, 80s. You know what I mean? As far as the actual top.
Yeah.
He's the 46th batter.
Well, we'll see, man. I'm always wrong, but
So again, that's by all means, B-, top 4. Again, it got close when we got to this point. Next up, this one shocked the shit out of me. Honestly, I did not. This was probably the biggest surprise.
Oh wait, hold on one second, Jack. So you took out pitching prospects. So if he was like 120, but you took the pitching prospects out, he'd be in the top 100. Right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought I said,
right.
yeah, I
got it.
clear. So, right.
You
So
did,
that's why
Jack. You did.
I haven't given anyone a ranking better than 50, but that means they're in the top. I only did the top 50 batters per se, you know what I mean? But in order to be in the top 50, you're in the top 100 as far as players.
It's not you, Jack. It's Tim's personal grudges again.
Look at him. Just don't
Anyway,
talk for me.
I'm talking for me. I'm explaining you. I'm talking for me, explaining you, motherfucker.
All right, so wait, Swag was saying he was surprised on this next one, so I was surprised on that one.
He was about to have a big unveil, and Tim was like, "Wait."
He was. I just want to make sure.
It's a young kid.
He did all this work, and here I am just shitting all over it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway,
go ahead. I'm fucking cranky as hell. Chavis will be the new Bellinger. He'll fucking tear it up, Chris, with Pavin Smith.
Well, Austin Meadows, that's a bust alert if ever I've seen one, though.
I would not have faith in. Yeah, it's like I said, he's definitely sliding back.
Like Glass now.
Wasn't he in the top 5 at one point a couple years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be terrible.
So as I mentioned earlier, I was somewhat surprised to see Ronan. I knew that he had pretty much exhausted his minors, but the Dreamers and Omission, I was kind of surprised to see him so low. This is a guy that I was surprised to see so high. He doesn't have a lot of prospects. Got 7 guys total. Of those 7, 5 are in the top 25, which surprised me. This is the Funkin' Punks.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he's got Fernando Tatis, top 10. He's got the best prospect catcher, the only one of real substance.
Yes.
He's got the guy, which is Francisco Mejia. And then I'll be perfectly honest with you, I had no idea who the fuck Alex Verdugo was till I started doing this. So
yeah, I traded him. So Verdugo, Jones, Florial, Adele all came from, and McMahon all came from me.
For what?
Oh, this was like 3 different deals last year. I think I was chasing a fucking pitching staff. If I knew, though, I could just trade a couple of shitty fucking college players and third basemen and get a good fucking pitching staff. But no, I had to trade these fucking guys to get a shitty pitching staff. So I don't know how that worked. I'm not trading with fucking LJ anymore either.
Well, then maybe LJ doesn't know how good his minors is, but Verdugo's a top 20, the outfielder for the Dodgers. McMahon, top 25. Adele, top 25.
Yeah.
Florial just outside the top 25. And Jones just broke the top 50. He also has Profar.
Yeah.
He's got Dom Smith now hitting the balls up there. And then Trey Mancini, also a young guy that's already made his way up. So a B for the Punks. All right. So we're down to the top 2. Greg has number 2.
Wow. He also has the number 2 prospect overall, too. Is that correct?
Vladimir Guerrero, the only guy that's behind Acuna as far as prospects go.
Yeah.
I have number 3, Eloy Jimenez. Greg has number 4, Gilbert Torres. Now, this is where it starts leaning towards Greg, because Greg has number 5, Nick Senzel. Again, this is my rankings. You may or may not agree. So at this point, Greg's got a little bit of a lead. But I have number 6, Victor Robles.
Oh, my God. Did you get him for a pack of chiclets, too? Like, what the fuck? That trade was fucking disgusting.
Followed by number 7, Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette, number 7.
You almost said Boba Fett. You almost said Boba Fett there.
I would pick up Boba Fett if you guys would let me. I would keep a spot open for. So number 7, 8 and 9 were actually in another squad, and Greg's next best guy is 15. Before that, I have Brendan Rodgers at 10, Lewis Brinson at 12, and JB Crawford at 13. So that's where I take the lead. Again, 2 very strong minor league systems. Lewis Robert also in the top 25 for me.
Wow.
After Senzel, we got Willie Adames, Scott Kingery, and Willie Calhoun, all within or just outside of Calhoun, just outside the top 20. So at that point, again, within the go ahead.
I think all due respect, some of the players, we both have really good young players there. I think I have some players who aren't on the radar of some of these lists because of their age, like Bryce Turang.
Right, and that's correct. That's what I had mentioned before. That
Seth Beer.
Some of these guys aren't on there because they shouldn't be, like Tim. But then some of these guys, right? I just don't know who the fuck they are.
Bryce Turang, I bet you he's in the top 3 of this year's amateur draft in the real majors. He's a shortstop in Southern California.
You also got David Dahl, who again, just to throw in. And then Nick Williams has made his way up. Again, a solid bat.
Mm-hmm.
I got Eddie Martinez. My guys that I think are valued up within that group, but don't yet have that mark. Also, Austin Beck, another young guy, came out of high school last year, and Jalen Ortiz, who is a young guy for the Phillies that still hasn't made their lists yet, but. I think
my catching prospect for the Dodgers too is going to be a fast riser this year.
Yep, yeah, that was a tough thing to. Had one of those catchers broken into the top 20, I probably would have given it to you. Honestly, they were just outside. Ruiz was the next guy after Calhoun on your squad, and then Carson Kelly, just a couple of spots down. So all of them within the top 35 hitters in all of the prospects. So like I said,
Kelly's value goes down because of that contract extension. That what's his name in St. Louis just signed. So I mean, I was hoping that Molina would move on, and Kelly would get a chance to play. But Kelly's, I think, devalued now because of that.
He's still got time. It's not Molina's not old, not young by any means. And then you also have. I'm still not done. Helio Ramos and Tyler O'Neill, both also within the top 50 prospect batters. So the only 2 guys you don't have that are in the top 50 are the 2 guys that you mentioned, and probably for good reason. So
Bryce Turang, Seth Beer. Yeah.
Beer, yep. Like I said, between me and Greg, the reason I gave it to me is, again, I had a couple of guys a little higher up, and my guys are closer. That's it.
Leody Taveras is so young. And he didn't have a great year.
But it just seemed like, when you look at Jack's minor leagues, and maybe I just know them better because Eloy Jimenez could be good this year. He could be kind of Bellinger-like.
Luis Robert won't be. The rest of my top 8 has a probable chance of playing in the majors this year, yeah.
Bo Bichette, there's been nothing but just glowing praise since you picked him up last year. And then Victor Robles. I mean, I'm not
he's an interesting case. He's a guy that he's a better ball player than he is a fantasy player. That doesn't make him a bad fantasy player, but his value here is probably a little bit higher than it is in fantasy. But again, if you're the 4th best, then maybe 7 or 8. You know what I mean?
I think that the 2 of you have done a phenomenal job. It's not just us saying this. Any prospect list we take a look at, we can run it down this way. So I know that there's a lot of variability with prospecting. However, if you miss on 3 of them, you still hit on 2 of them or more. super, super impressive. And when I get my stroke of bad luck this year and you guys are running high, I'll probably try to grab some of those back.
Well, yeah, that's part of the fun. I mean, if I'm not going to be competitive, and that's an if, but if I'm not going to be competitive, is just seeing which prospects pan out and kind of aligning my own personal depth chart. So if Vlad stays at third and I have Senzel, do I assess which one is going to be better and then make a mega deal for somebody else who's going to help my team? That's part of the fun, I have a lot of middle infielders, frankly. I have Torres and Ahmed Rosario, Ruffin Odor. I have a lot of middle infielders, and so you hope that you're stockpiling commodities so you can flip them.
Yeah, that's something I didn't take into consideration. I did not take positions at all. And in fact, it's funny you mentioned that. Well, one time, real quick, through my minor league system again: outfield, shortstop, outfield, shortstop, outfield, shortstop, outfield. So while I do have the best players, I could not field a team as is, and I need some help on the corners and the backstop and so on and so forth. So yeah, I've already started. I can't do it. I pulled a Josh McDaniels. I just can't do it. I've already traded 2 prospects.
I love you too.
For Buster Posey today, for Christ's sake.
I'm going to add 4. I'm going to add 4 more prospects. Come the draft.
We do need to be able to field an actual team. So again, as long as we're doing that, if it got to the point where we started loading up our bench with guys that can't help us in the game, at one point that was a rule. I could see the possibility of as a league discussing if it got out of hand. If right now, as is, yes, your team, my team, whatever, is not favored to win and everyone gets to play them and so on and so forth. But if Wieters goes down and you don't have a backup catcher.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to put Keibert Ruiz, who's playing at, playing in Tacoma.
Right, but just keep in mind, keep in mind that you can't do it on the fly. So you can't pick up a catcher and start him. You have to have had him already. I have a backup catcher, so I'm not picking on you. I'm just using an example. I am the person I'm talking about at the moment. I have Buster fucking.
For many years, I only had one catcher on my. When I had Posey, I only kept one catcher on my roster. I just rolled the dice because I wanted to have other positional flexibility, and I thought to myself, even if Posey goes down on a Thursday and I put in some fucking loser backup catcher, he's going to give me 2.2 points anyway. So I'd rather take the chance of having positional flexibility somewhere else.
And that's legitimate. Again, that the state of your team probably would come into play more so, and that's where I don't like rules. I like for everyone to be in the same mindset, which I know is impossible, but that's what I like. I'm saying if you're a winning team, if you're 8-0 and you're kicking people's ass and you choose not to run with a backup catcher, well, that's your fucking prerogative, and that's kind of a different mindset towards it. Whereas if you're 0-8 and everyone's
so you can manage your team the way you want to manage it as long as it's successful for you.
Yeah, that was the whole argument last year. Just so you know, that was the whole point, right? So yes,
so you can be a Maverick as long as you're good at it. That's the rule.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you mean by good at it?
You can eschew convention as long as you're successful.
Well, because at that point, there's true risk associated with the fact that you're running that way. So therefore, your intention can be assumed to be that you're running risky. But if you're not going to win and you just kind of use that.
I'm going to try to win every game this year, but I'm also trying to build a team for the future. Christ almighty.
Okay, we're gonna take a break here. I think we need to refill our drinks. People are getting a little testy. I like it.
Blood. Stuck on repeat.
Welcome back, Balkers, and we now have a frequent guest to Atlas Balked, our pseudo scout. Justin, welcome to Atlas Balked.
Hey, thanks for having me back on, guys.
We love having you on, and of course, we had to have you on our prospect special. We just found out Jack's preseason grades on the minor leagues, and so it'd be great if we can have Jack just run through those grades real quick and have you kind of react to those grades as we go through. Maybe you agree with everything he said, and we can just kind of get into some teams that are really interesting for you from a prospect perspective. Or maybe you might disagree a little bit. So, Jack, do you want to share your grades? We can just run really quickly through the grades, who the team is and what their grade is.
The La Reboot, which is French, by the way, Justin. They got an A. Blondie got an A minus. Good work, Justin, by the way. At least something on that fucking team has
Scott Kingery. That's who Justin recommended to me last year. Scott Kingery. That's the guy. That's guy.
Yeah, he's
pretty good.
The guy made a huge fucking jump.
Yeah,
he did.
All right, so I got the Funkin' Punks. I gave a B. Not a whole lot there, but of the guys that are there, they're all of value. Low Cash, B minus. Reardon Metal, C plus. Lethal Injection, a C. Bad Street, C minus. Dreamers, a D plus. I gave Omission a D, and Ronan an F.
He wanted to give Ronan a D, but he had to give him an F.
Taking into consideration, I used a couple of different sources. Taking into consideration not only the number of prospects they have, but then obviously the value of each of the prospects that they have. So
yeah, I would agree with 47 Ronin. Their farm system, it isn't all that. However, since we're not talking about the major leaguers, that's the only knock. They're a damn juggernaut.
I agree.
They're damn good. And they're going to be that way for a long time. So they'll take an F on the minors, and I'm sure that they do not care.
He's a megalomaniac, so he cares about everything. So even though he is a juggernaut, the fact that he's bottom on the list is still eating away at him, I could tell. He cares.
They're a mullet. Business in the front and party in the back.
Tim's going to draft Steele McCutcheon this year in the first round. He's an infant.
Okay. Yeah. As far as Bad Street goes, the middle infield guys, San Diaz and Ryan Mountcastle, they're in some pretty solid spots right now. Diaz going to Miami. He's got more of a clear path to play. I like him as a solid little power speed guy. I don't know what the hit tool is going to be, but even if he's like a 250 guy going 15-15, maybe even a little bit more pop than that. Kyle Lewis, sadly, he had a devastating knee injury. Gosh, I want to say it was like his third professional game, and he ended up leaving the fall league. But from what I understand, that kid's talent level is legit.
I agree that his talent level is legit. And apparently what was really devastating was the fact that Chris didn't see that talent and gave the Red Sox to Jack for a couple of jokers instead of Kyle Lewis. That's what I see in Kyle Lewis.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. As a whole, though, that needs a big what if. I would agree. I'd put them towards the bottom. As far as the Dreamers go,
I had them one spot below, I believe.
Right when I saw Ohtani was on that team, I would have flipped him so fast.
Right. Yeah, we don't do individual pitchers, so that his only value in our league is as a batter. And
Kyle Tucker, though, I think he's one of the launch angle guys. To me, the sabermetric stat of 2017. Everybody was talking about launch angles. Kyle Tucker increased his last season as well, and that's when you saw the huge power spike. Man, Kyle Tucker might end up being pretty dang good. However, as a whole, he's what that team has. I don't really know what to say about Urseg or J.D. Davis.
That's kind of what we had Tucker as a top 10, and other than that, not a lot there.
How many fall league games did you go to this year?
Oh, Jesus.
So you've seen a lot of these players live and in person.
Cool. I saw Kyle Tucker play probably like 7 times. He looks like a major leaguer. That kid, oh man, he's got like that it factor. Like right when he comes up to the plate, you're like, oh man, this kid, he's going to be good. He can hit. Beautiful swing. He's got that prototypical beautiful left-handed swing. Makes it look easy. And shoot, now if he's hitting over 20 bombs and he's in that lineup,
Is he handsome?
Does he have high HQ? That's the question. I love it.
yeah.
Justin, I am responsible for a huge fire sale this year. I've taken what was a playoff team and dismantled it and tried to build up my minors. Hopefully you'll agree. Charlie Black was the last guy I traded, and the Dreamers came close to getting him with Kyle Tucker being an integral part. So I get a lot of respect for that guy. I agree.
I hear a lot of Hunter Pence comparisons for Kyle Tucker.
I was reading a lot of Christian Yelich, but I think with this recent power output, it might actually be a little bit more. But Yelich and Pence, I mean, they're still pushing like 2020 guys with solid batting average. So kind of the same thing.
While you're jumping from team to team, Omission was the other team who was towards the bottom. Kind of a unique situation because they have quite a few guys in their lineup that would have been on this list high last year. Devers and Bregman,
Judge,
Mazzara, Bird, Judge. Right. So their team is young and badass, but they're the guys that qualify as minors. I did not give a great grade.
Yeah, you're right. Fantastic collection of recent grads. Bregman, Judge, Benintendi. Devers, and shoot, Mazzara. I mean, that dude's only like 22 years old. As far as that age goes, I mean, he's like the standard age of a lot of guys just making their debut. But I'll agree that strictly minors, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Corey Ray. I actually like Chance Sisco. He's going to be a solid little catcher. I could see him being a top 12 catcher.
Yep, I agree. I got him even probably higher than that as far as catcher prospects go right now. Yeah. And he made the top 50 batters. Alford also, top 35 or so. That guy has some value, but outside of that, it was hard to find much.
He has a great name. Do you think Devers is going to really be a stud?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Fuck.
He's going to be. Yeah,
I'm never I traded him Devers, Bregman, fucking Mazzara, and Benintendi. He's done. He is dead.
Judge?
To me. A judge. Fucking thank you,
Judge. What was that noise? Was that a sound effect?
I'm going full Chris. That's it. You're done, Scotty.
What did you get in return?
It doesn't matter.
A headache.
At this point.
5 and 12.
A losing a team that didn't make the playoffs is what I got. That's what I got. A fucking loser. God, every time I look at Scotty's team, I love that guy, but god damn it, trading with him sucks.
I tell you what, I read a lot about Aaron Judge in the minors. Like, I thought he was going to be like, actually like best case scenario, Joey Gallo, where it was going to be Mendoza line average and 30 home runs.
Holy, it still might be. It still might be that.
I don't know, man. The way Judge was making adjustments after his big slump.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
When he made those adjustments, I was like, oh shit, this kid, he might actually be pretty damn good. And I was reading stuff about his swing plane through the zone. Like, this guy, despite his height, he might be an outlier as far as that goes.
Isn't swing plane just the euphemism that we used to use, that he had a great winter working out? Like, isn't that just to say he's fucking juicing?
Yeah, in line with the I'm in the best shape of my life.
Yes!
Kind of.
You remember that, right? And so we would be scouring spring training reports. Who's in shape? Who had the best training of their life? Now we're going to be looking for who has adjusted their swing plane.
I don't know, dude.
I like the visual of Justin reading on swing planes through the zone, like the magazines that he's picking up that have articles about swing planes through zones.
It got him onto this podcast, didn't it?
Yeah. This is when I made it in life. Yeah,
you made it.
I'm sorry, Justin.
The next two teams that were kind of grouped together a little bit were Reardon Metal and Lethal Injection. Again, Reardon, one of those teams like Omission that has a lot of young guys in the lineup.
Man, I tell you what, I would rank Reardon Metal a little bit higher. Oh, you said a C minus?
I gave them Reardon a C plus.
I'll go along with that. You know what? After this season, they have a chance to get pushed up to B minus territory. I love me some Franklin Barreto.
Well, if you get in our league, you could probably get him.
He gets traded frequently.
Yeah, so you know what? I would gladly take him. Juan Soto is a guy that man, I mean, that kid, look at those batting averages.
I know.
Holy crap.
It's a good thing his owner doesn't know anything about how good these guys are, that he just likes to listen to us for our expert opinions. It's so good that he has no idea who Lazarito is.
I just traded him Jesus Sanchez and Lazarito, so if you could talk those guys up a little bit, I'd appreciate that.
Jesus Sanchez, from what I understand,
Getting their name right would be a good start.
Yeah, you're right. So Jesus Sanchez, from what I understand, he's kind of in the same group as like Leody Taveras, toolsy guy. Lazarito, he's got quite a ways to go. I mean, shit, he's what, 17? Just played in rookie league. I mean, I read like a Bo Jackson comparison to that kid's athleticism. We'll see. I did see Diaz play in the fall league. He's going to be a nice little ball player. You know, I mentioned Bretto. So if all of these guys have like a really solid 2018, that collection could jump. But now, where do you discount things? Because a lot of them are outfielders. I look at everybody's farm systems. I see a lot of stud young outfielders. Do you put a discount on that?
You brought that up. We did not. I actually pointed out we did not take that into consideration for this anyway. We just went by straight talent.
You mentioned another C team. Who is that?
Lethal Injection.
Well, I mean, they got Acuna.
Yeah.
That kid, athletic as fuck. I mean, I watched him play a lot in the fall league. I don't think he's the 6 foot that he's listed at. I bet you he's like 5'10", 5'11". But watching that kid play, he can dunk a basketball. He is so freaking athletic.
See, I love Justin's insights that, frankly, none of us can offer. Like, having seen these guys, and, Justin's looking at their height. And and kind of calculating in his mind, like, nope, he's not the height that he's listed, but I bet he could dunk a basketball. Like, I just don't watch the game at that level. That's what's amazing about you, Justin.
This kid seems like he's at Ken Griffey status from a prospect's perspective.
I might splash some cold water on that, because if you look at what he did over this past season, all right, look, I'm not taking away what he did as far as jumping 3 minor league levels and getting better every time he got promoted.
Right.
However, I would think that it's going to be right for Atlanta to keep him in the minors for maybe a little bit longer than what people want him to be. The reason is because I want to see the kid fail in the minors and see how he can make adjustments.
Yeah.
He hit the cover off the ball right away, right when he got in there. He didn't give the league time to adjust to him.
Mm-hmm.
He hit the cover off the ball, and then Atlanta moved him up before he had a chance to fail. And so all the kid knows is success. Let me see him go through a bad slump like what Aaron Judge went through after the All-Star break. And let me see this kid get himself out of the hole.
That's not really that harsh of a praise. He's just been so good that we don't know how he'll handle failure.
Right.
But if he does, then he's number one.
Man, I tell you what, yeah, he's pretty damn good.
The next 2 in the group would be Saint Locash and the Funkin' Punk.
Saint Locash.
There's a couple of guys I'm really interested in your take on this team.
Okay, do any of you 4 own Saint Locash?
No,
but one of us is related to the person that does,
and one of us is related in the sense that we got screwed.
There's a lot of vested interest in your,
and we're all related in the fact that we're in the same league.
Be honest.
Okay, as I'm going through this, Reese McGuire I don't like. Pavin Smith I don't like for fantasy purposes. I don't think that guy's going to hit for power.
Me either.
Forrest Wall, I think he's going to be utility. Royce Lewis, he's got a long ways to go, but he's in rookie league. Chavis, I watched that dude play in the fall league. That power is real.
Is it?
Nick,
Let's talk about Chavis a little more. How real is that power?
Justin, Tim has a personal grudge against Chavis because he cast him aside, and so he wants nothing more than for this kid, this real human being, to fail miserably.
No.
So that Tim's ego is...
It's deeper than that. There was a trade. Tim was trying to trade with Chris, and Tim was offering what he thought was a very fair deal, but Tim had burned Chris in the past, Bryce Harper. So while that was going on, I ended up giving Chris Chavis and Pavin Smith for the staff that Tim was going after. So Tim immediately started talking shit about both of those guys and what bitches they were. So Pavin Smith, he has confirmed, is not a high talent. But it does seem that Justin seems to have a bit more respect for Chavis than
Well,
Tim
let's
does.
just ask this.
He's got power.
He does have power. I would agree. He actually, I think, hit a game-winning home run in the Arizona Fall League that Chris made sure I knew via text. But Chavis or Lewis from a
I would take Lewis.
Yeah, me too.
I have Lewis top 15. Lewis is his best prospect, in my opinion.
Okay.
Then Meadows, then Bowers, then Chavis.
Meadows is going to be a bust.
So what this means is that Jack is actually a more gifted trader than I am. And Joe, trading is the process wherein you give players to someone to get players back.
I wasn't sure.
I just
explaining.
figured that, from our expert perspective.
Can anyone participate in that, or
No,
do
you
you
have to be in the
special
league.
permission?
You have to
You
be
know-
in the league.
Do you have to
And-
ask the commissioner if it's okay first?
Joe
I
has
don't
traded
know.
more in the past 3 days than any of us.
I know, but he knows nothing. He just likes to listen to our expert opinion. So, yes, Michael Lewis
Yeah.
fucking kicks Chavis's ass. Got it. Okay, next.
I actually don't like that St. Louis Cash team. I rank them the lowest as far as everything goes.
I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 5 of his guys really kind of outside the rankings, with Smith and Rutherford flirting with it. But Chavis, Bowers, Meadows, and Lewis.
Bowers?
Bowers I have as a top 35.
Oh, okay, Jake Bowers.
Bauer.
Okay, yeah.
Not the guy from 24.
I wanted to ask you about, so there is a guy, the Wander Samuel Franco guy. He has 7 brothers. 3 other brothers are on other baseball teams, and they're all named Wander. Do you know anything about him? Because what I've read and the little stuff I can find, that this guy is legitimate from a hit tool, from a power, and from a speed perspective.
And Chris has been successful on teenagers more than any. Like that guy's,
Right, right.
he is the finder of Harper.
He does.
So
Franco, let's see. Actually, let me look something up on him.
and while you're looking that up, I just want to verify that you're saying that all of those guys are worse than the 3 pieces of shit that Tim has in his minor league system right now.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Wander Franco, the guy with Houston, that one?
Shortstop.
No, Tampa
yeah,
Bay.
Tampa.
So that's
Okay.
that's one of his brothers. Actually, I tell you, it's,
Well, this
Yeah,
it's like the
what I'm
weird.
talking
Like
about.
George Foreman.
Like I wouldn't have noticed it until Chris said, "No, it's not that Wander Franco. It's this Wander Franco." And I had to go through. I was like, "What is this story? Like, this is fascinating."
Yeah, I honestly I don't know a whole lot about the kid. I just feel like there's something missing on that team. There's like too many things that really need to click. I don't know. I don't know what to think about Meadows. Damn, like when I saw him at the Fall League, I thought I was looking at the next Will Myers.
Wow.
Like what Will Myers is doing now, I'm like, that's what Austin Meadows is going to be doing. Like he was
I wish.
really, really good. That might be the first team that we disagree about as far as where you rank their prospects. I would mark
Right.
these guys lower.
he had an incentive to inflate that ranking anyway. So
Well, that's my brother's team.
I think
Okay.
Greg was getting inflated when he said Austin Meadows would be good.
All right, so this one's interesting. The Funkin' Punks would be next. I gave them a straight B.
this is classic LJ, right? I never pay attention to his team,
Yeah.
but yet,
LJ is who Joe pretends to be.
right.
Well done, Jack.
Yeah, this team's pretty solid. I love Francisco Mejia. I think he's going to be amazing. And then Fernando Tatis. All right, this is me really, really nerding out. I'm almost embarrassed to be talking.
Justin
God, I
made
was-
it. Justin made a plaster mold of his hand because they're so.
Yeah,
May I make a
tested-
plaster mold of your hands, Mr.
I
Tim?
tested his sweat. And
yeah.
The
uh,
alkaline levels are off the charts. I was
Yeah,
reading this
somebody
article
test-
about alkaline levels in the Arizona Fall League, and
So I saw him at it was extended spring training, and oh man, that guy's really, really projectable. He's going to be tall for a shortstop, He's super skinny right now, so he's got a lot of room to fill out.
Me too.
He was just yanking stuff like moon shots to left center. He's got a chance to be really, really good. I like Joe Adele too. Oh man, I read something that compared him to potentially being what Matt Kemp was in his.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
He's pretty athletic, and I actually like the other guy Jahmai Jones. He could end up being pretty solid too. We'll see what kind of power he develops. Verdugo, that kid can rake. Esteban Florial, very toolsy kid. I watched him in the fall league too. We'll see, but he's got the ceiling, and shit, it's the Yankees. It's a hell of a lineup, and they're developing really, really good talent too. They're interesting. I like them.
I have to share my misery with you and all of Blocker Nation. So I traded Jordan Adele, Estevan Florial, and Ryan McMahon
Verdugo
on July 17th, 2017 for
Oh, you remember the date.
Austin.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the transactions page. Austin Hedges,
My God.
the catcher for San Diego. Yes. So all those glowing remarks about those players,
That sucks.
that's what I did. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. The truth is, I have to start there. I was treating prospects like total bitches. And yes, you like LJ's team. Fuck.
You know what, dude?
Okay,
I actually treat prospects the same way, man.
We look at prospects like Greg looks at girlfriends.
Okay.
Allegedly. No, this is the year. This is the year I settle down. I settle down.
He's making a commitment.
Yes, I am.
You know, we're going over all of these prospects, and to relive this thing in 2020, you know, and we're going to be laughing at how did you not talk about Florio higher? I mean, that guy's the next, you know, this, that, or another. All these can't miss guys just flopping. I mean,
and vice versa.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
just how
Yep.
it works. So
Yep.
it's all speculative, but
But in the
it's fun.
meantime, let's pretend
But in the
because we have two teams left, and I'd like
So
you to
Justin-
look at both of them and compare.
Yeah, Jack.
So you
had
may
a-
have a
Jack
vested
had a-
interest
had
in
a-
one of them.
No. Jack had a definitive 1 and 2.
Not definitive.
Well, yeah, you did. You said this one's 1 and this one's 2.
Because I
wasn't-
was told to. I
Well,
had
yeah.
a
So you
potential
decided. So
five.
that you said one was A and one was A minus.
I'm
so I'm
better than
curious-
Greg.
Man, both of these teams are loaded. First off, I'll tell you, I think Vladimir Guerrero is actually the best prospect in baseball. I will say that.
Is he going to stay at third though, Just? Is he going to go to first or the outfield? Is he going to stay at third?
He would probably be like, actually, he will be like a Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols type.
Ooh.
Stay at third for like a
Oh.
couple years and then move to first.
Oh,
Dude, all right, look,
he's
I
plays.
don't think I am a huge Baseball America disciple. I don't think I have ever seen them give a prospect a 70 hit tool with an 80 power, game power, not raw power. They gave that to Vlad Guerrero. Holy shit.
So you think he's better than Acuna? You think he'll play out from a fantasy perspective better than Acuna?
Yeah, shit, man. If that guy makes his debut by All-Star break, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, but also if he doesn't make it till like 2019, I could see that as well, whereas Acuna's going to make his debut earlier. Acuna's ready. So do you put present value, like where do you rank that versus future value? I mean, he's got a chance to have the same kind of bat as his dad. Not the arm or the speed, but Jesus. I mean, you're talking a 70 bat, 80 power? That's insane.
Yeah.
The one thing that we used to always enjoy about Vlad is it didn't matter where the fucking ball was. It could be 3 inches off
Right.
the fucking plate. This guy would reach out, put it over the fucking fence. And my
Yeah.
understanding is this kid could do the same thing.
Anyway, I'll start right there because, I mean, that's it to me is the number one prospect in baseball. I freaking love Keibert Ruiz. That guy is the guy. He's one of the prospects I'm super pumped to see because I have not seen him play yet. Kingery, I watched him play in fall league. That's the next Jason Kipnis right there. Back when Jason Kipnis was a top 10 or like a top 5 second baseman.
Oh boy.
Jesus, that kid looks like a freaking stud. Rosario, he's a great post-hype sleeper. I mean, Adames, he looks like the next Starlin Castro pre-Yankees.
Wow.
We'll see about Helio Ramos. He batted like fucking what, 350? Granted, it was a rookie league. Again, you get a bunch of them. There's only going to be like a small couple of them that truly amount to it. But damn,
Yeah, but still,
that's a lot of minimized risk right there.
If he hits on a third of them, that's half of his fucking starting team.
That's a lot. So to go to the other one, I mean, LA reboot.
Before we go to the other one, you built a good team, Justin.
Jesus Christ. Scott Kingery. That's who Justin recommended to me pick up last year. I had Vlad Guerrero before I met Justin. I had.
You met Justin like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I've had Vlad Guerrero since he was 16. Senzel, I chose myself. Come on, let's be honest.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the way all those guys pan out. LA reboot. I watched Robles play in the fall.
Yeah, reboot.
There you go. Thank you.
A reboot.
It's
Okay. All right. Cool. You know what? I think Victor Robles is going to be what Byron Buxton was supposed to be.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh man.
I think Robles is going to be pretty freaking good. 300 average, 18 bombs, and 30 stolen bases. Like Robles is going to be nasty. Jesus. Boba Fett, that kid's pretty freaking good. I love Brendan Rodgers. Maitan. I mean, that guy went from being like the next fucking Miguel Cabrera to not even a top 100 prospect. How does that happen?
A lot of cheeseburgers.
Hey, he can't step away from the table after his first portions. Like me.
Eloy Jimenez. Oh shit, he's a freaking animal. Oh my god, he could end up setting the world on fire. Like, man, I don't quite want to say Aaron Judge, but
don't say that.
He might be really damn good. Luis,
I'm not going to publish this episode. I fucking hate this episode.
You let
I'm
him
not gonna
finish,
publish
for
it.
Christ's sake. He is not done. You were going to say Luis Robert?
Oh no!
I read an article that called him the second best player in the world. However, they didn't say who number one was, and that was
which world.
Or which world, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Luis Brinson, I want to see that guy be the next Joe Carter. That's actually who he kind of reminds me of. Austin Beck, I don't know. That guy really, really struggled. But Robles, he's going to be a stud. Shit. Who would I say is number one?
Yeah, so we already have one of our experts has declared which minor league system is number one. And now, Justin, you're our other expert. We need your declaration so that we can start teasing for a mid-year and a post-year prospects segments.
With the guys in the dirt that Mr. Blonde has, those that trio of shortstops, having the quantity of guys in the dirt and seeing how that is really a premium among the league, I might actually give edge there.
Every one of the guys that you mentioned on my minors, while high on many of the list, are either a shortstop or an outfielder.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing in the corners, nothing in the back. Yeah,
it seems like La Reboot has more surefire, closer to the majors type prospects. We know more about Bo Bichette than Seth Beer. The range of possibilities in Mr. Blonde's Heroes is much wider. There's no denying the talent. It's just, will that talent appear? And I think when you think about Eloy Jimenez, Brendan Rodgers, Bo Bichette, even Eddie Martinez, Victor Robles, I mean, these are guys that we're starting to get a book on, whereas I think Greg's a little deeper, which means that the variation, right, the potential path to fantasy relevance is a little more in question. That helped me decide in terms of who I thought had the best system. But I agree, it was really disheartening to see these guys and the talent they both have.
When I did break it all down, I ended up ranking, these guys, and I ranked them again, Justin, without using pitchers. So when I looked at, top, these are just batting rankings, and I omitted any prospects that aren't in our league that might be within these mixes. So that said, Greg ended up with 3 of the top 5 in Guerrero, Torres, and Senzel. He ended up with 6 of the top 20. Adding to that again, Willie Adames, Kingery, and Calhoun And that's how, again, that was the top 6. Then he has the catchers, and not many people have catchers. As a matter of fact, I think there were only 2 other catchers in the prospects, period. One of them being Mejia, who's probably the top guy. So Greg may have the second and third.
Well, Chance Cisco's up there too.
Yeah, true. All right, maybe 4th and 5th. Then. Another quick note: I have 6 of, again, in my rankings, the top 20 prospects. Of those 6, one of them was on my roster January 1st, December 1st. I have 5 of them I have acquired over the last month.
So, Justin, you're saying that Mr. Blonde's Heroes, in your opinion, has the top minor league system. Is that what I heard?
Yes, I would agree.
Because we're all terrible forecasters. Everyone on this podcast. We last year we all bungled the forecast spectacularly. Like it wasn't even close. Like it was flipped on its ear. Tim and I were going to be vying for the title, and like I didn't come close.
Joe
to
is the only
playoffs.
team that anyone picked that actually made the playoffs.
We couldn't have been further off if we tried. So this will be interesting.
How long have all of you guys been playing fantasy sports?
24 years, Jack and I.
Yeah,
baseball 10 years, but I played fantasy football for 10 years before that.
10 for me.
Something that I've learned is fantasy sports is about 80% luck. I would say the other 20% is you drafting correctly.
Randomness.
Given your 12 years of experience, if you have a player that has been hexed, someone put a hex on him, how?
And he's really good, and you don't want to trade him.
I can't. He's untradeable, pretty much. How do I get rid of that hex? Because none of these fuckers will tell me. So maybe
I think sage. You burn sage.
Sage? Well, I'm not going to listen to you. You're not going to tell me the truth. So Justin, is there some way to dispel this hex that
when
has
you're in
ruined?
Really good player, Justin. Really.
When you're in the midst of a slump in your softball league, as rare as those likely are, how do you bust out of a slump? What's your slump buster? Some rando chick. You pick up a rando chick at the bar and take her out.
I typically drink like 2 more beers in the parking lot than what I normally do, and that typically fixes it.
So drink more.
Okay, but
there's your answer, Tim. Drink
minor
more.
league system.
unload minor league system was what I was hoping. That's right. Or trade, 7 of your 10 starting players. But no, just drink more. Got it.
There you go.
Can do.
Done.
Well, Justin, great seeing you again. Great having you here again.
Likewise.
Great artwork over your left shoulder. Love it, love it, love it. That's a great band. Best of luck to you on your Dynasty League that you're embarking on. So we hope to have you back, and you can kind of give us some insights as to how you're doing there. And then apparently in the co-ed softball league that you're in, how well you're doing there.
Sister Mary Catherine doesn't stack up to Justin at all.
Despite slow pitch softball, I've got the power of like Ozzie Smith, Jose Peraza. I'm like right around there.
Justin's hoping his slugging percentage outdoes his
Justin.
blood alcohol level this year.
Yeah.
I believe Justin could start for Greg's team.
Oh, we'll see.
And maybe I'll hold the hot corner for Vlad till he's ready. Yes.
I've been down on Senzel, but now I'm slowly realizing looks to be pretty good. Anyways, Justin, thanks again for hopping on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
It was
Justin.
fun.
Good to see you, man.
Peace
All
out,
right, fellas.
Peace. All right, gentlemen.
guys.
Well, listen, this was fun. We'll be talking to you soon.
Later, boys.
Sayonara, Gamera.
you still have any questions for these guys? You know? What?
I'm getting fucking trolled from all different directions is what's happening right there.
Oh.
That's exactly what's happening.
Sorry, Greg.
What was that? What the?
I
fuck
love
was
the energy.
that?
Nah, there's like sub fucking trolls going on, and he just got me. He got me. Anyway, it was almost as bad as me saying Willie Calhoun can't hit. He can fucking hit. So it's good that I don't have a goddamn prospect on my team because I fucking, clearly have no
Michael
idea what's
Taylor,
going on.
That's what I had in my mind that the Nationals.
Oh, no.
And
That's
Godwin.
what I said.
Good one. You said
No.
Michael
That's what I
Taylor?
said. I said
He
Michael Taylor. You
did.
said no.
Okay. And Brian Godwin or Goodwin or whatever his name is.
Okay. Yeah, Kansas City. They've got. We'll see what happens with Mahomes. Is that right?
That's what it says over the tunnel that they run out of.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Yeah,
You
but
know, so-
wasn't there players like that?
Should he be in a trade for Bryce Harper? Like, that's the kind of question that you're asking, right?
I would take Harper over Buxton.
Yeah. But
So would Tim.
what I'm saying though is, but only
I'm just a bill.
and I'm hoping that I'll be a law. Oh, how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill. Look, Bill, now you're a law. Oh yeah, I love that. That was definitely the best Schoolhouse Rock. Their hitting coach emphasizes ground balls. Slap it on the ground, boys, and run it out.